All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Scorched Earth Political Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. And we're getting more subscribers every day, which I really do appreciate. And I actually like the comments. Please feel free to leave one of those. I personally respond to every one of them. And I even like the trolls. Even though I got censored the other day by TikTok, they said my answer was a little abrasive. Yeah, I'm not holding back there either. And here we welcome all, friend and foe, sinner and saint, and we try to have a more honest, more raw look at what's going on in the powers that be it political or even the news area. You know, I'm watching Jake Tapper make the rounds on all these shows about his, book, quote unquote, about Biden and his cognitive decline. And what a big scandal this was and how the Democrats held up on it and how they were hiding it. And the funny thing is, he isn't even talking about Trump, right? We're seeing cognitive decline right in front of our face. We are seeing that Memorial Day speech, which was just a train wreck. We went over that. Not even, I mean, what was that speech at West Point? Where he starts talking about trophy wives or stuff like that. I mean, look, invert it. If that would have been a Democrat doing it, how crazy would that have been, right? At the end of the day, remember back in the day when the Republicans for literally 3 months lost their shit over Barack Obama having a tan suit, that it disrespected the White House, whatever. Joe Biden at 3 a.m. in Maryland, welcoming back greeting our fallen soldiers from a combat duty overseas, and looking at his watch because, maybe he happened to between, addressing the families and things like that. And Fox ran that for months about how he disrespected them. And now we're not going to talk about Donald Trump and the 4 fallen soldiers from Estonia. When he was too busy to greet them, he sent Pig Hegseth, and he had to go golf. He had to go round up some more money from the live golfers and the Saudis, right? We got to make sure we keep the Doral golf course in the live rotation. Make sure we get some money in my pocket, right? That's how it all goes, because this is the king of grift. All right, this is where we're trying to hold all powers accountable. We're taking no prisoners, telling no lies, and we're going to burn it all to the ground. It seems like junior senator from Iowa, Joni Ernst, held a town hall the other day. And I applaud her for that, because most Republicans these days move away from the town halls like the villagers did from Frankenstein. And she got some questions, and she didn't really like the answers of what was going on. One of her constituents asked, what are you doing about all the people who are getting off Medicaid, and how is that going to affect their lives?
People are not, we all are going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to die, honey. We're all going to die. Yeah, think about that. We're all going to die. Look at that smile on her face. I don't know if everybody here remembers back when Barack Obama was instituting or trying to formulate the legislation for Obamacare. And the Republicans, long list from Rush Limbaugh. I'm glad he's dead. Sorry, I don't wish death on anybody, but that guy wasn't putting anything back into the ecosystem. And every Republican were like, you know what? They are going to decide your health care. They are death squads. They are coming. They are going to cut off vital things you need. And now we are in the day when the Republicans are halfway to a bill that is going to cut off Medicaid from anywhere between 8 million and 13 million people. This lady is one of the ringleaders. She's been getting government health care for quite a while as a U.S. senator. That's okay. I earned it. She is sitting there saying, well, we're going to do the work requirements. She at this town hall there's 1.4 million illegal immigrants who are getting Medicaid, which has been totally debunked by the CBO and actually Medicaid itself. You know, hey, let's not let facts get in the way of your bullshit argument, Joni Ernst, right? People are going to die. That's just the straight up number. What is going to happen? And she doesn't care. And that smile on her face, she's running for re-election in 2026. Okay? I can't wait. I am looking forward to that because they're going to roll out all this other stuff. We, as Democrats, I am angry at people like Chuck Schumer. He's sitting on his ass. He's sending strongly worded letters. You need to be fighting. But I'm going to tell you something. The 2026 is going to be a blue wave like we have not seen since 2008. Because people understand what they are doing to the government, what they are doing to them. I'm telling you right now. I agree with David Frum, he is a Republican, but he is one of the most insightful people I've ever been blessed enough to listen to on podcast. And he says the referendum will be on Donald Trump. It will be on this Congress. And they are doubling down. They are not finding any other roads. They're saying, we are on the Autobahn and we have no brakes. We are going full steam ahead. Okay, let's just see what happens there, right? Joni Ernst, God bless you. All right. So Elon Musk on Saturday, oh God, he left the White House on Friday, but Saturday he was responding to a report in the New York Times on Friday that he used extensive ketamine and other drugs on the 2024 campaign trail. Look at Elon Musk. Is it that hard to believe that? Let's think. Who am I going to believe here? The New York Times, which literally has like 6 rounds of fact checking on everything, or Elon Musk, the guy who said, I'm going to save $2 trillion, I'm going to save $1 trillion, I'm going to save $500 billion, I'm going to try and save $200 trillion, and he ended up saving less than $50 billion. All right, let's go with that guy. As the New York Times reported on Friday that the billionaire advisor to President Donald Trump extensively used ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that he developed bladder problems. Looks like instead of Doge, he needs Depends. Okay? Seems like he had some problem. The report also said the world's richest person took ecstasy and mushrooms and traveled with his pill box on the campaign trail. You know, let's just think for a second. You know Elon Musk. He went out there with the chainsaw. He says crazy stuff. He DMs women in X asking if they want to be artificially inseminated to have his kids. I mean, really. I think we all know this guy is a loon. And I think we all know, or at least I honestly hope he's on drugs, because that would explain this twisted behavior instead of the fact that he is just mentally goddamn insane, right? He posted on X Saturday night, to be clear, I am not taking drugs. The New York Times is lying their ass off. Hey, this just in, why don't you sue him? Hey, libel laws, go ahead, sue him. You got the money, no problem. He added, I tried prescription ketamine a few years ago and so on, and said so on X. So this is not even news. Yeah. A couple of years ago, probably about 20 minutes before you made that post, right? Musk dodged questions about his drug use at the bizarre farewell appearance Friday with Trump in the Oval Office, where he sported a noticeable black eye, and he formally ended his role as Trump's main cost cutter in Doge, which fired 121,000 people that we know of. Musk said he got the injury while horsing around with his young son, who he named X. He named his kid X. And then he told the young child to hit him in the face. Oh my God. You want to end the federal deficit? Let me tell you, you start a GoFundMe that we can all hit Elon Musk in the face. I'm telling you, the national debt will be wiped out in literally 20 minutes. I'm telling you, I got money. I'm in that. Let's do it. Let's get Mike Tyson out there or Jake Paul or whoever it is and smash him in the face. You know what I mean? And as he said about the black eye, he says, as he did, and he did, turns out that even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually is powerful. Well, that's because you're a pussy. Okay, your man card has long been gone. You may have a great credit card, maybe platinum and maybe black, whatever it is, just like your soul. But as a man, you're a wuss on a wuss. You know, oh, I'm going to father all these kids because I'm going to DM these social influencers who are Republicans. Yeah, right? Later Friday, when a reporter asked Trump if he was aware of Musk's regular drug use, Trump responded, I wasn't aware. Everybody's running out. Everybody's running out. God bless, right? So, as that human excrement moves out, it seems like we got to bring another one in. And his name is Peter Thiel, billionaire Republican activist. Seems like he is going to slot in to where Elon was. I hope they can fumigate the office. Well, you probably don't need to because Peter Thiel brings his own form of stench, right? He is now taking over the central authority of Doge, right? Now, here's what's happened in the last couple months. Just to get you up to speed, I know you are, but there's so much muzzle velocity. There's so much stuff that we deal with every day. God, don't you miss Joe Biden where there wasn't a house on fire every goddamn day? I mean, really? Every day we got 20 stories. 20 stories. You know? So going over what Trump has done in the last couple months, maybe he saw this coming, maybe he didn't, maybe he just thought about it. Trump signed an executive order in March forcing government agencies to share data. They broke down the firewalls between them. So if you went for, say, Snap, your data stayed inside Snap. Now, what they wanted to do is stop it from being possibly infiltrated, hacked, or accessed by one person, right? Now, those firewalls are coming down and different departments are accessing other departments' information. Palantir, which is the company that Peter Thiel owns, has deep ties to the far right and is known for building surveillance tools and has been tapped to lead the effort to cut government waste. All right? So now he's got this company, Palantir. Now, gee, John, what is Palantir doing in the government? I'm glad you asked. That's why you're the smartest audience in the internet. Thank you. Palantir has already received $113 million in government funds since Trump took office. Wow. Another guy profiting. They're cutting everything, but seems his billionaire buddies seem to be making more and more money. I mean, we're not going to talk about SpaceX and their $800 billion in contracts. We're not going to talk about all that, okay? I'm sure it's just a coincidence, right? Well, Palantir also secured a new $795 million contract with the Defense Department. I guess that's why we got to give them a raise as we cut Medicaid, Medicare, and possibly Social Security. Palantir software is already being used inside the Department of Homeland Security, Health and Human Services, and more. The company is now in talks with the IRS and Social Security to expand further into their databases. This means that personal data, from tax returns to medical records, could soon be compiled in one place in the government. Yeah, that's exactly what's coming. And now this Peter Thiel guy is going to be running it all. Wow, how fantastic is that? Kumbaya, mother effer, kumbaya, right? So, I don't understand how people are not seeing what is coming. They are taking from the poorest people in society. The people on Medicaid, the people on Medicare, the seniors, the kids, and they're giving it to the rich. Can't people see what the goddamn hell they're doing? It's just bloody ridiculous. You know, I don't know. I just, at some point, you sit there and think, when are people going to see through this bullshit that the Republicans are doing to the American constituents? You know, if you wanted to make an honest, forthright attempt to balance the budget, okay, I get it. okay? But you have to go into the Defense Department. That's the biggest department there is. The two biggest expenditures are interest on the debt and the Defense Department. Social Security's right there too, right? They're coming for Social Security. I mean, it's just what it is. They are going to bankrupt everything and then say, well, the only thing we can go after is Social Security. It's in the playbook. It's in the next couple years because the debt is unsustainable. The bond market is telling you that. The interest rate on bonds, which is U.S. Treasury securities that we sell to finance our debt, if we may bring in $5 trillion in tax revenue and spend $7 trillion, we have to get $2 trillion financed. So now we have to put those U.S. Treasuries out there and offer people interest rates that they will buy that debt. That's basically how we got to $36 trillion, right? Well, now we're looking at a bill that is going to add anywhere between $5 and $7 trillion in the next 4 years to the national debt. At some point, the bond market's going to go, yeah, F you. We don't need it. 50% of our Treasury securities are owned in Asia, in China, Vietnam, South Korea. Those countries own a lot of our debt, including Japan. Okay, let's piss them off. That's good. I have no problem with isolating China. Let's take them on. Okay, you want to do that? That's fine. I don't think you're doing it well, but we don't need to piss off everybody else. We do need some allies out there. I don't want to hear that we don't need it. We can do it on our own. All right. Starting to get worked up. You know what it's like when I get worked up, and I love you anyway. I love everybody out there. All right. I'm going to end up with a really nice little story. So, the human reptilian succubus, who is known as Stephen Miller, he is the deputy chief of staff. There's rumors that he will become Trump's chief of staff. And he is literally the most anti-immigrant person in the administration. He has proudly said that he would be very happy if not a single refugee ever put foot on American soil. Yeah, this is where this guy is coming from, right? So his wife, Katie, was working in the White House. And her official job was, she was the handler, concierge, whatever you want to call it, personal attaché for Elon Musk. Okay, now look, that's got to be a full-time job, right? Dealing with that lunatic, okay? I don't know if she started taking ketamine with him. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. And look, I got sympathy for the lady. You were married to Stephen Miller. I mean, really, when you look at the evolutionary table, somewhere they skipped a step with him. I mean, really, when the animals or the reptiles came out of the sea, I think that's where Stephen Miller still is. Okay? He is reptilian scum. A succubus, you can look that up. I don't want to get too much into the devil having relations on earth with people, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, Elon Musk on Friday left the administration and left the White House in literally a bizarre ceremony. We just already talked about that. And Katie seemed to say, you know what? I could stay here in the White House with my husband, or I could actually split with Elon. Well, she decided to split. Now, obviously, if Katie goes from Stephen Miller to Elon Musk, I have to question her choices in life. But those are the choices she's going to make, right? At the end of the day, sometimes you make good ones, sometimes you make bad, right? So she said, I'm going to split. I'm going with Elon. Elon is the guy. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be a couple or whatever it is, but boy, that don't look very good for Stephen Miller, right? Too busy hating on immigrants to take care of his wife. I'm just saying, okay? Like I said in the short, I'm going to say it again because it's comic gold. They were having a difference of views on religion. Stephen Miller thought he was God and his wife didn't, right? At the end of the day, good luck, Katie. You're in with that train wreck. I hope you get plenty of money, and I hope, he doesn't slip into your DMs and ask you to have his kid. Maybe that's a better choice. I don't know. All right, that's it today for the Scorched Earth Political Podcast. I just want to tell you all I love you. I appreciate you. We're in this together, and we're going to win. We are going to win because we're on the side of right, we're on the side of good, and we're fighting for our kids. We're fighting for democracy. We're fighting for the future of this beautiful country. All right? I will see you soon on the Scorched Earth.